I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V, and for Christmas this year I was given a terrarium making kit. Now, I have attempted to make a terrarium before, but I kind of haphazardly threw some stuff together in a coffee jar, and it looked great for the first day or two, and then it really quickly went mouldy. So I'm doing a bit more methodically this time and trying to make it just a little bit more carefully. I've boiled rocks, sterilised things, I'll show you all that later. But why am I even sharing this with you? Because usually I talk about self-care, wellness, that sort of thing, and what has a terrarium got to do with that? I have talked to you before about self-care through creativity, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. I'm going into this knowing that I have done it before and failed. I've gone into this knowing that it's not something I'm particularly good at, and there's no reason for me to be doing it. Like, there isn't a bigger purpose for why I have to learn how to make a terrarium. The only reason that I'm doing it is purely just for the joy of it. And I think it's really important for us to do creative things just for the joy of doing them, allowing ourselves to be a beginner, allowing ourselves to be rubbish at something, and just having a go at it, because humans are creative, inquisitive animals that thrive when they have a chance to play. I think that it's really important to be creative for the sake of just being creative sometimes. I'm going to pretty much quiet down while I attempt to make my terrarium. I'm going to move you so that you can see better what I'm doing, and I'll just talk you through what I'm doing, and then you can tell me in the comments what I've done wrong. And maybe, you know, we'll do a little check-in on this once a week on YouTube Shorts, just to chart either its inevitable decay or its glorious thriving, who knows. So this is some of the things that I have got. These things came with my little terrarium making kit. That is from Rootbox. I did have to buy some extras for this, but that isn't their fault. It's because the jar that I got is far too big for the little kit that I got here. And so I have actually had to buy some extra substrate and things like that just in case. These little tools came with it, and then I went and sterilised some tweezers and some little, I think these are normally for eyelashes, but I thought that they would be good to help me with the plants and placing things. This is a piece of pottery that I've broken up and we sterilised. These pebbles were just about in my house because my family are the type of people that collect pebbles, and so I boiled those up as well. I haven't sterilised this because I was worried that it would break, but it is brand new, fresh out of the packet, so I don't think it's going to have any mould spores on it. It's actually an aquarium or vivarium tank ornament, but I thought that that would work quite well in here, and then the humidity won't affect it because it's designed for aquariums. These little plants that I got from DIY Terrariums on Etsy, and they look ever so good quality. I can't see any signs of disease on the plants or anything like that. They arrived really quickly and were really well packaged, and they came with a little handwritten note there just telling me what I bought as well, because it was a lucky dip of plant. So that's all of my materials. Oh no, I've also got a piece of mesh here. This kit didn't come with any of that because it's designed for a much smaller terrarium, that you could use moss as a separation layer to separate your drainage pebbles from your charcoal layer. But because I've got a much bigger jar than was intended, and I happen to have some mesh, I've cut a piece that's just a little bit bigger than my jar. I've already given my jar a good clean inside and out. There is a little bit of condensation in there from where the plants have been respiring. I think that's probably a good sign, but I'm still going to wipe it off with a microfiber cloth before I get started. Things first, I need a drainage layer. Last time I made one of these, everything went mouldy. I'm pretty sure it's because I didn't have an adequate drainage layer. Pop these in, and then I did buy some extras just in case, because, like I said, my jar is far too big. I thought my jar was far too big, but I don't know, that looks alright actually. Having poured in my drainage layer, I don't think I needed to buy an extra lot of drainage for it. Don't tell my husband I bought stuff that I really didn't need to. I didn't think this was going to be enough. I thought it was for a much smaller jar. But now that I've poured it in, I think that's going to be alright. So the next thing I'm going to do is pop the mesh in. I'm going to fold that up a little bit first just to make it sit better. And then unfold it again, just so that it's more. There we go. I don't think this is meant for this layer, but I'm going to use it anyway. Because that's just to stop all of my soil and stuff falling down into those other drainage pebbles. Next thing that I'm going to add is some activated charcoal. I did think that I would need more of this as well. I'm not sure I'm going to after seeing how far the drainage pebbles went, because they actually fit my terrarium really, really nicely. But this seems like quite a small bag of activated charcoal, and I have got a big one, so I might add some more in. Let's see what kind of layer we're looking at once I've poured it in. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need more of that, if only to weight down. I think that's fine, I've got one. I am using horticultural charcoal that absorbs toxins and retains nutrients and aids uptake by the roots, as well as improving soil texture, apparently. So yeah, this seems like a miracle product. So hopefully this will stop this terrarium from going mouldy. Those aren't as fine as the other chips. I wonder if that will matter. I think it'll probably be a good thing, actually. That seems like a fairly decent layer to me. I'm going to give it a little bash. I'm going to add in a little bit of this moss before I put my substrate in. Only a little bit of it. Just to act as another little layer of filtration, I guess. I suppose it's only going to be a layer of filtration if I cover the whole thing with it, but I'll pop some in there. The instructions say to put some in this layer. I'm guessing that that's to break down into nutrients for your soil over time. But I don't know, I'm literally a complete beginner and I don't know what I'm doing. So maybe don't watch this as a how-to tutorial. Because I've done a layer of mesh as well, I don't think I need to do a massive amount on this, and I want to retain some of this for planting in the top. I have got some more moss as well. I'm liking how that's looking so far. I don't know how well you can see what's going on really. Let's move you over so you can have a little aerial shot. It's looking quite forest flory. And the layers are sitting quite nicely there. I suppose you could do decorative layer here, I suppose, with like marbles or something, if you wanted to. I like this, it looks quite natural. This is what came with my thing. So. And now the last thing layer-wise is just my substrate. This is the stuff that came with the terrarium. Again, I've got some more stuff to top it off with if we need to. I do apologise for the awful angles while I'm filling it up. It's not a very nice shot, but I can't work out how else to show you. Just move it. I haven't put all that in yet because I only want a thin layer at the very front of my terrarium here. And because some of my plants are actually quite tall, I might need to trim them, which I'm not excited about. And I've got some hardscaping that I want to do, and that is going to require a little bit of room. I'm breaking up the bigger lumps. I don't know if I need to, but it seems like the right thing to do because I'm sure that the plants would rather have. And I'm taking out big bits of bark as well because I'm not putting springtails or woodlice or anything like that in here. I don't want that rotting down and making mould in my terrarium. A little pat down, just a little one. I don't want to compact the soil there. You'll notice that I haven't covered up that mesh yet here. That's okay because I'm planning on building something there, like a little staircase, and that's all going to be covered up soon, I hope. I've just moved you up a little bit so that you're more at the same level as my top layer so you can see what's going on. I'm going to attempt to make a little staircase out of those pottery pieces, and I might use some of these rocks as sort of support as well. So let's give that glass another little wipe there. I'm hoping you'll be able to see what I'm doing. I'm just popping this piece in as my first sort of step, and then I'm going to backfill around it with the substrate to try and support it a bit to keep it where I want it. I'm just breaking up the bigger lumps this time so that they don't sort of collapse and make the stones collapse in the longer term. Okay, that's alright. Don't know how that much of it you can see, but I will show you some more when I've done a few more steps. I laid out my pottery last night so that it was already in the order that I wanted it. I'm hoping that we're going to make it look good, maybe. I actually don't mind compacting it a little bit around the steps because I want them to stay nice and stable. As you can see, I am just placing the pieces of pottery and then building up the soil and compacting it around where the next one's going to go. I wonder if I can do that one-handed to show you. Not happy with the placement of that one. That's a bit better. I'm going to backfill around that to do the next one. It would have been a lot easier had I glued my staircase together before I started. It is definitely time to get my next bag of substrate out. Give you a look at that. So this is my little spiral staircase. It's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. I think when I've got some moss planted in there and planted some plants into this part to stabilise that little hill, it's going to work out quite nicely. Not sure how well you can see my little hill in there, but it seems to be forming quite nicely at the moment. I think, as I say, once I get some moss in the cracks between those steps and get the planting done, it will stabilise in there. I do have some more sort of hardscape things that I think I'm going to add to it before we start the planting though. I feel like this is going to need some kind of support, and this is a pretty little rock, so maybe we can neutralise that in there as well. The little aquarium ornament that I bought, I'm going to put that in there and then maybe put a little bit of the substrate on top and see if I can't encourage some of the moss to grow there. I'm liking how that's coming together so far. I did have some other things for hardscaping. I don't think I'm going to need them. I'm going to get those little white stones out and push some of this dirt into the little cracks again. Make maybe a little path here and a little path there, so that they're not just stairs to nowhere, you know. I want to pick quite small ones for the top and then bigger ones for the bottom, so it gives it a little bit of natural depth. I That sounded very much like I know what the heck I'm talking about. I do not. But we're giving it a go. So this is it from the side. It's already looking quite good, but from above, I think it looks better. Got my little pathway going up the stairs and along again. Hopefully it'll give the impression that it's disappearing into the distance when the plants have come in. I'm liking how that's looking so far. So I place those stones in. My glass is looking mucky again, so I'm just going to give that a little wipe. I'm just using tissue at the moment, and I will go over it with the microfiber cloth at the end. I'm moving my little T-Rex. He needs a name, by the way. Help me come up with a name, both for my T-Rex and for the world in general. I would love your input, because I'm bad at naming things. Like, for a writer, I'm bad at naming things. And a mother of 4. My kids' names are fine. But that's the one thing I'm good at naming is children. I hope. Which is nice. I could have covered that purple rock up a little. Oh, you couldn't see what I was brushing. I could have covered that purple rock up, but I decided that it looked better exposed. It gives us a nice little range of different rock textures in there, and I like that. Just sweeping the dirt off my steps again. So, although I want a little bit of dirt on the steps to make it look like it's been there for a really long time, I don't want big lumps of it on there, you know? Ruins the sense of scale a little. And I'm just tapping down in between the glass and the stairs with the paintbrush as well to try and push them more into there to make them more stable still. There we go. I think we're about ready for planting now. Just going to give that a final little pat down there. I don't know whether I should start with the bigger or the smaller plants, to be honest. I think I'm going to start by unwrapping them and seeing how many actual different plants we've got. There are 3 different types of plants in here, but like with this fern, I might be able to split it off. I'm going to ease these out of their pot. They don't seem too root bound, which is lovely. Oh, they're not root bound at all. That's fantastic. And they're separating off really, really easily. Oh, and there's 2 of those in there as well. That's fantastic. Oh, I've got more than 1 plant of these. This is brilliant, brilliant. DIY terrariums on Etsy. Well done. This is fantastic. You have a whole little asparagus fern forest. Maybe, if they survive. I'm going to have room for all of these in here. I ordered 3 plants, and I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. I have got 9 plants in here. That was brilliant stuff. I'm taking off most of their potting soil, and just in case there's any sort of fungal spores in there. But this is quite a small business. They were really, really well wrapped. They seemed very attentive to the care, and so I very much doubt there is actually going to be any. I was very impressed with the service from those. I'm going to put my taller ones in first. I don't know if she's going to fit. I don't know if you can even see her. She's very, very thin and wispy. These are my first 2 plants in place. Going well. I'm going to pop this one in here, I think. Smells super cute. Sprinkle some more soil just to cover those roots a little. Yeah. Trying to get these in is quite tricky. They've got quite extensive root systems, and I don't know enough about the plant to know how much of their root I can take off. I'm just hoping that their roots will eventually sort of head downward. I have sprinkled a bit more soil mix on top, but I don't want to make it too high up either, the soil level, because then the plants are not going to have room to grow. This has been very useful. I don't know if putting big plants in first was really the logical way of approaching this, but we're here now. Now I've still got my little ivies and little plants to put in. I'm getting to the point now where I'm wishing I had some long-handled tweezers because it would be a bit easier. It's all looking a bit crowded out now, and I've still got some more plants that want to go in and some moss to do. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Let's get some of your ivy in first. So some of that up the top too. I feel like I've disrupted some of my ferns by adding that plant in up the top. I don't think they liked that. They seem to be leaning over now, so I've moved my little T-Rex dude to help support them. I don't think they're meant to need support, are they? Oh dear. It's all gone a bit wrong. It's possible I'm trying to cram too many plants in here, but they're all so cute and I haven't got anywhere else to put them, so if I don't put them in here, they're going to die. I've got to fit 2 more in, but they're both quite small. And then we've just got moss to add on. I think it maybe won't be too crowded. I don't know. The plants focus. There we go. Here are all the plants. I've got one more to get in. I think I'm going to try and do it around here-ish. But I don't know if it's already a bit crowded out. We shall see. Your view is terrible right now because you're seeing the back of it, but I need it this way around so I can see what I'm doing. I will show you properly in a minute. I think... I think you're falling over again. There we go. Stamp you down a little bit. Just uncovering any hardscaping that sort of got lost when I was planting. Hopefully that'll give it a bit more depth as well. It ended up getting a bit more built up than I expected it to be honest. I'm going to put a tiny bit of it on top of this guy. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing there. I'm just putting some soil stuff onto my T-Rex skull, just on the very top of it, that I'm hoping that some of the moss will sort of take to. And that'll help naturalise it in a little bit too. I'm ever so sorry for the atrocious camera angles that have been going on, but you can see some of it. I will give you an aerial shot in a minute, but I'm going to attempt to put some sort of mosses in first. Not gonna lie, placing the moss was tricky, especially the tiny little bits. People on YouTube do make that look a lot easier than it actually is. But yeah, so what I was doing was just taking really teeny tiny little bits and pushing them into the cracks between my steps using these. And trying to get their little roots between the cracks, but it was tricky. Now, I'm going to do what I hope for the last time, the last brush off of this substrate. So soothing, just creating a little world. And yeah, it doesn't really matter what kind of creative thing you do. As long as you're doing something that's going to be pleasing to your inner child, just occasionally, not all the time. It's going to make you feel a lot happier. And wasn't that probably one of your New Year's resolutions, to do more things that make you happy? And if it wasn't, why wasn't it? That's the only New Year's resolution that's any good. We're just about done, so I'm going to give you a little show off of it, and then I'm going to give it a little spray, clean the glass and put the lid on. And if you're invested now, then I will probably, for accountability and so I remember, do a little check-in with it once a week or so on YouTube Shorts and see how it's progressing along or decaying, one of the two. And let you guys all see how it is getting on. So this is the finished terrarium. Again, it's quite tricky to film because of how reflective the glass is. We've got our little white path there going up our spiral staircase through the asparagus fern forest. The little path at the top there as well. And it really has crammed a lot of plants in. I hope that they all survive. As I say, we will keep an eye on it, a close eye on it. We'll do a weekly check-in, Terrarium Tuesdays or something. And we'll watch its progress over the few weeks or months or however long it actually survives for. Thank you so much for joining me in making my gorgeous terrarium today. I'm really happy with it. I'm less happy with all the mess that I've now got to clear up after making it, but never mind. I'm not sealing it up just yet because I'm just going to give it a chance for all that excess moisture to evaporate off before I pop the lid back on. I really don't want it to go mouldy. You can follow along on its progress. I've decided I'm going to do a weekly check-in, Terrarium Tuesdays on the shorts, and we'll see how it gets on. And then if it does start to die, maybe you guys can help me save its life. I really enjoy using creativity as a method of self-care. You don't have to be good at something to enjoy it. It's just supposed to be fun. And it is really okay for you to do something just because it's fun. We spend all of our time working hard. We spend all of our time caring for people, cleaning up and all that sort of stuff. It's really important to retain just a tiny little bit of joy in your life from time to time. Whether that is making a little picture, whether it's doing something as elaborate as my huge terrarium, which I'm very impressed with, by the way, if I do say so myself, or, you know, having a dance around your kitchen, whatever you do, make time to do something just for the fun of it. It's going to really improve your mental health. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed making that with you. And I will be back next Monday for my weekly vlog about who knows what. I have no idea whatsoever. Come along, we'll find out together. If you can't bear to wait a whole entire week before you see me again, I understand. Come along and join me on my shorts in the morning where I do my daily gratitude, take a breath together, get our day off to a good start. And I guess now I'll be doing Terrarium Tuesdays too, so we'll be around a lot. Until next Monday, you have yourself a magical week.